up everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to What's Up Vlog 77. It's Sunday morning, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here in the UK to be precise, which means I've got 40 minutes to go until we start round 5 of the WKG Racing League. This is the Crazy 8, which originally was going to be a Watopia figure of 8 circuit, nice and simple, suits me quite nicely that course. Instead, because of the Zwift course schedule, we have 8 laps of the London Classique route, which is pretty flat, but totals about 50 kilometres and is absolutely not my kind of race whatsoever. So I'll just hang on at the back and see what happens. So should be fun anyway. Like I say, I've got about 40 minutes to go, so I'm going to jump on. I've not done any warm-up yet, so I've got to get my kit on, get the recording set up, spin the legs up, and I'll see you back at the start. Right, so I've got 3 minutes till we start. Got a nice full start grid again, which is really good. Slightly confused by some of the names in there. We've got M.01 all the way through to M.06, and they just strangely appeared in the event module, and obviously have popped up on the start pen, which is I'm not absolutely sure who these guys are. Maybe they're a team. Maybe if you're watching, guys, and you are a team of racers, good on you. Thanks for joining. But I think they all had slightly strange sort of weights and statistics within Zwift, so I'm not sure if that's some kind of weird glitch, but we'll wait and see. Nearly hit 50 riders now. All the familiar faces and quite a lot of new ones on there, which is fantastic to see. I'm going to get my pre-race excuse out of the way right now, and it's actually quite a weird one, but it is genuine. My tyre pressure at the back has gone down significantly. I've adjusted the trainer to try and compensate, but the reason I can't just pump up the tyre is I went to do it and the little valve snapped, so I can't actually connect the pump. It's holding the pressure that was there, so it's not a flat tyre, but I can't pump it up, and I haven't got time to swap the inner tube over, or even actually I suppose I could have put my Cervelo on here, couldn't I, but I don't really want to do that. So anyway, there's my excuse. I've got a bit of tyre slip, which you might be able to hear. Yeah, doesn't sound great, but it might get better as things warm up anyway. Right, so just over a minute to go, 54 races now. It's fantastic. This one's going to be so tough. So tough. This is it's just flat all the way, no let up. Oh, another big pain in the backside is Zwift Power. They clearly don't like me. Oh, that's good news. I've just seen D Crook is streaming this on YouTube. So excellent. Thanks, Dave. That could come in really handy, because Zwift Power, once again, are not going to show results. I've emailed. I direct messaged the event. I've direct messaged the Strava segments. I do this every time, but for the last couple of races, the event appears in the schedule, and then as soon as it's time to go, it disappears. So this could be an interesting one to try and score. So anyway, 25 seconds to go. I've prattled on long enough. Let's start getting a little bit of power up in that in the legs. Here we go, 57 riders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the Crazy 8 is go. And straight away, N666 is being flagged. Now this happened to somebody in the last race. It escapes my memory who that was, apologies, but straight away a warning came up for, I think that's sort of irregular calibration or something, isn't it? That orange triangle. But unlucky, whoever that is, and for whatever reason that is. Oh no, I think that's Dan. Yeah, Dan's had a dropout. Oh, it's terrible luck. Unlucky, buddy. I hope you can get that sorted quickly and charge back towards the group. And do you know what? I think he's done exactly that. Let's have a quick look. He's there he's Dan, 4.5 watts per kilogram. Charging back, he's going to join onto my little gruppetto in a second. Good job, man. Hey, Bob Bertolino from Team Type 1. Thanks very much for the ride on, my friend. Great to see you. And Mr. L. Dregley. Thank you, buddy. I think you're there, just sort of 15 seconds behind. And Dan Lell also. Thanks for the ride on. And Dan has successfully regrouped with us. And I say us. That us is D. Atwood, D. Lell, T. Owens, M. Neal, K. Akaiki, I think that might be pronounced. So, good job, man. Right, I can see, hang on. Why is R. Patterson showing at just 5 metres behind me, but he's not on my timing screen? Very strange. Peter Wilson saying tyres not slipping. I don't know if I missed a previous message or whether somehow he heard my excuse that my tyre is slipping, and he's countered that with his own. Hey, hi Stuart, Mr. Stuart Woodsell, thanks very much for the ride on, my friend. Good to see you. And we've managed to close back in a little pairing of Carlos Valadares and who is that? Oh, it's Jason Arblaster, who I think had both sort of pulled off a few seconds ahead of us, and we managed to now regroup with them. And this is a long race. I think it's 50 or 49k plus this initial sort of 4k warm up. Now I've got to shut up because I'm getting seriously dropped here. And I've got Mr. T. Harris, who's obviously does that mean he's part of the Zwift employment? Ride on anyway, buddy. Okay, so Cobra Tatting up the front with the bees, suggesting that everybody regroup. And I think that is definitely going to be the strategy for this one. Being a flat, fast course, it's definitely going to be power in numbers. Which is why I'm not happy that I'm completely sat in no man's land. 3 seconds behind Carlos, 4 seconds ahead of Jason. This is not ideal. I'm going to have to bust a gut to get onto this little trio in front of me. Oh no, Dan, another dropout. Such bad luck, man. I think it's when you and I race together you have problems. So I think I should keep my distance from you, or rather you should keep your distance from me. Alright, I've got to keep a note of these sprints. We've got H. Scott, Keith D, Adams, I think that was, Ikabe, Kane, Cook, Wild, Borup, Catherine D. And the reason I've got to keep an eye on those is because there are points for the top 3 in each category, and that's always the hardest thing to try and work out after the event. I think we've got Carlos going for a sprint time here in the D's, so L wide, B Borup, P Wilson, and then I think that's going to be Padron de Gas in 15th there, and then I'm down with what we got after Padron. We've got Cobra Tatting. Oh, I lost it. I have to check the video on those ones. Hey, Dan's back again. And flying through. I'll tell you what, Dan, if you do well in this race, you'll have earned any points that you managed to get. 2 big dropouts on the first lap. It's not good. I was expecting a lot of riders to go for that sprint on the first lap while they're supposedly relatively fresh, but I'm not sure that was the case. I think everybody's trying to work their way into it a little bit. Carlos definitely put a nice kick in with the use of an aero as well. So he, as far as the D category goes, he's probably got a pretty good time. Hard one to beat. Oh no, Dan. A WTF message from Dan. Does that mean another dropout? He's still putting the power out. I think it's intermittent for him. Okay, my 2 main adversaries of the last race, the Spartacus. Catch up, Marcus. I'm trying, my friend, I'm trying. Sorry, my 2 adversaries from the last race, Satvik Singh and Len Capel, both got a nice lead over me now. So I'm wondering if it's going to be the same again and I'm able to draw them back in, or they're just much better suited to this course and much stronger than I am. Time will tell. 40k to go. Oh, so I was wrong. You don't get the you don't get that 4 kilometre warm up on top of the distance. That was included. So there we go. A total of about 48 kilometres. All right. So Peter is saying he's getting. Cheers, Chris Durham, for the ride on. Yeah, Peter Wilson is saying he is getting tyre slip alerts, and his pedalling's very inconsistent. So unlucky, man. That's not going to be fun. I know how you feel, although mine seems to have definitely improved since the tyres warmed up a bit more. Okay, so Dan suggesting we all work together, which is absolutely fine by me, with myself and Carlos and Jason, and who else we got in there? We've got Kaya Kaiki, D Atwood. Hi Inga Backman from Team Type 1, thanks very much for the ride on, my friend. T Owens is with us. Jason's just dropped off the back a little bit, but he's putting out decent power, so may well be that he can pull himself back in. Incidentally, in case there's any grey areas, if you go for the sprint time, if you win any sprint points, they will only count if you complete the entire race. To prevent the obvious, which is turning up for 1 lap, blasting in a sprint, knowing that you don't have to carry on anymore. So those are the rules for this and every race. KOMs and sprint bonus points will only be awarded if you complete the entire race. And I'm going to have to be harsh and say, even if the failure to complete is due to a mechanical. I know that sounds hard, but it's too hard to try and sift through the reasons for non-completion, so it's just going to have to be a blanket rule, I'm afraid. I tried to follow Dan on that sprint. So I managed to get 4th place, which is pretty good so far. But that might not have been a good idea. I managed to hit sort of 7 point something, I think. While Dan was in the 14s. Absolutely crazy. Ed Nielsen now calling out to those around him to try and catch Keith Denton. I've got to try and just get my legs spinning again so I can try and stay with the bunch when they come back past me. It's going to happen any second now. Here's Carlos. Here's Mr. Akaiki. Mr. Atwood. Oh, I can't do it at the moment. I've managed to let myself get pulled back in by Waikudo and T Uematsu, because I've not been able to hold more than about 2, well under 2 at the moment, knots per kilogram. Just trying to get some breath back in my lungs and some feeling back in my legs. Hey, Mark from Team Type 1. Thanks very much, my friend, for the ride on. It's good to see you. And Jason Arblaster now is he's holding really solid power. He's coming back at me really quickly, as is M Bexel and S Monk. I'm hoping by the time they reach me, I manage to get a little bit of performance back. But I've got to tell you, that has really taken it out of me doing that sprint. If any of the developers for Zwift are watching this, a really useful addition to the results screen at the end would be sprint KOM times as well, or the ability to flick through the screens in the same way as you can with the lap times and the race finish times. So for events like these, I'm not relying on anything other than the Zwift screen. So at the moment I've been jumping through the Zwift results, Zwift Power, Strava, and a lot of help from others to try and correctly decipher the results, which I get wrong more often than I get right. Thank you, G. Caudry, for the ride on. So if there was any way to just show the sprint times from those in that event at the end of the race, that would be absolutely fantastic. Here we go. I've got Jason Arblaster on my wheel. S Monk just 7 seconds further back. And Dan's now nearly 30 seconds ahead. Carlos is nearly 20 seconds ahead. I've just been left for dead by those guys. I should have saved that sprint till the final lap, I think. It might have been a slower sprint, but it wouldn't affect the race quite as much. Carlos just saying he's never had a 3-time espresso before a race. I know what you mean, Carlos. I do exactly the same. I'm fueled by coffee, plenty of it, and a banana this morning. Try and get a little bit of a breather sitting on Jason's wheel for a while. If we can pull in Uematsu as well, apologies for the pronunciation of your name, I'm sure that's horribly wrong. But we're 3 seconds back and it's going a little bit faster, I think, so we should be able to grab on. And maybe the 3 of us together will be able to work back in towards Carlos. I've got to say, in terms of progressive improvement that I've seen throughout these first 5 races, Carlos Valladares is right up there. He's been absolutely brilliant. And in the last race, not only did he win the D category, but he was mixing it with the C's for a long time, and I think he managed to pick off a few of the C's at the end. So, great job, Carlos, keep it going. As stated right at the beginning, with regards to categories, I'm expecting everybody to improve over the course of the season, and it'll make it far too complicated in terms of the allocation of points if I started jumping people from one category to another. So whatever category you started on, or actually I think it was after the first race we kind of adjusted it slightly, but after that point, whichever category you're in, that's where you're staying. So if you're showing great progress, you won't be moved up a category, and likewise if you're struggling to hold on to the pace of the category you're in, unfortunately you won't be moving back. But look at that, Dan Lell 11.05 in the sprint, D Crook next, Colin Wade I think has taken it for third, and I'm in fourth. I mean those times will all change, but I think, right, Dan's certainly not in my category, so once he's removed from that list of C's, and I'm talking purely about myself here now, it's a totally selfish moment, I think I'm currently third place in the C sprint, which is good for a point. Now while waffling on, I've been left by Jason again, but that's not because I've been waffling on, that's because I've got 2.5 watts per kilogram in my legs at the moment at best, and not a lot more. So Mbexel now will be closing in on me. Yeah, so you won't, there won't be any category movements right on Mr. Bexhill as he comes past throughout the course of the season. Obviously this is the first season of this racing league, so it's not going to be perfect in terms of how it's structured, but it's a pretty steep learning curve, and by the end of round 15, we should all have a really good idea of the best way to set these leagues up going forward, especially if Zwift and Zwift Power are able to help us out with the results a little bit. I've absolutely destroyed my race because of that sprint. I don't think it was going to be a good one for me anyway, but that has really done me. Alright, while I'm cheekily using a draft power up, sitting in the wheel of Mbexel, just got to say a huge thank you to Keith Denton for firing over an online spreadsheet that he's made for the WKG Racing League, and it's going to make my life so much easier when I actually start putting all the data in there in terms of keeping track of race results, points, sprint points, KOM points, etc. So thank you very much for that, Keith. It's really appreciated. I had started making one myself, but it was pretty basic and it wasn't one that was easily shared. So this one, I believe, I will be able to upload a link so everybody can jump in and check it out, and it will be updated automatically. As soon as I enter details, I think it auto updates for everybody to see their cumulative points and league positions, etc. So that is a really handy tool, so thank you, Keith, for that. And as I say that, I can see Keith 4 minutes behind me because he's 4 minutes off lapping me. So that is a seriously fast race going on up there with the bees, with I think S. Kane and Keith at the front of it for the bees. Obviously I won't know until the results come in. And I've got S. Monk now, who's drawn me back in, and again I'm going to have to just rely on trying to sit on his wheel for a bit. This can't be the most interesting race for you guys to watch. Oh, absolutely nothing. If I end up taking points because of the sprint, I'll be extremely lucky, but I have a feeling all the faster sprints are going to come right at the end anyway, and I've got to keep going, otherwise I don't get any points anyway. I love that the pink jersey on here as well. It looks so good. I did, as you'll have noticed, I did change the WKG branding for the next 3 weeks to pink in honour of the 100th Giro d'Italia. I really would like to have had a pink jersey for the races, but they can't be auto-assigned through the Zwift event module, so probably best to stick with what we know. Now I just went past M666 at the side of the road there. Now he was the rider if you remember, that was flagged right at the beginning. Now I've noticed he's still here. He was sitting at the side. I don't know what that problem was. This is tragic performance. So once again, look, I've got Mr. Patterson on my wheel with WKGC in his name, but he's not showing in the list at the side. Now I don't know whether that's just he's not in the event, but he's got his team name in there still, and just sort of joining in for a casual ride. I hope that's the case, and it's not that he's there's a bug or a glitch that's just not showing him up in the events module. Oh, now he's disappeared along with everybody else. Oh, that's never a good sign. Aha, there we go, they're back. You know, I was talking about the improvement that Carlos Valadares has made. Nearly a minute ahead of me. Awesome job. Now remember, the prize for winning your league, your category in the league, is the exclusive WKG Love Velo t-shirt. It's different to the ones that are going to be sold, by the way. Each one will have a sort of commemorative, not absolutely sure what you call it, a sort of commemorative stamp for your achievements on the t-shirt. So these ones really are a money can't buy prize. The other ones you will be able to buy. So keep watching the Facebook forum. I'll post a link to to how you buy those as soon as I'm happy with them, basically. All right, I've got Lou Dregley now, just 3 seconds behind me as well. I think he's paced himself really well as me going slow. I think his allocation of power has been really good. And I can see the A's, look, J Adams, L Wide, H Scott, less than a minute behind of being, a minute away from being a lap ahead of me. Who's that coming past with an aero? Oh, that was L Dregley, good job, man. So sprint wise, oh, I'm down to 5th, so we've got, all right, so Keith D, he's in the B's, that's okay, so I'm still 3rd in the C's from what I can gather. And we've got Dan, I can't remember, are you a B? I think you are. So we've got Dan and Keith, 1st and 2nd in the B's at the moment. And it looks like D Crook, C Wade and M Neil, 1st, 2nd, 3rd in the C's. The D's, almost certainly Carlos. I couldn't see further beyond that. I'm just turning this into a bit of a gentle ride at the moment, and that was such a stupid tactic, given that I just wasn't able to grab onto the bunch as they sort of caught back onto me, or even keep it going long enough so that I could grab hold of Dan again. Dan's now 2.5 minutes ahead, along with D Atwood and Len Capel and Kei Akaiki. Satvik Singh doing an amazing job at 3:20 ahead. So we've got the A's coming up behind me, just 23 seconds behind. Directly ahead of me, Lou Dregley, S Monk at 35, M Bexel at 50, and Jason Arblaster at 53. So he's pulled really far ahead now. I'm hoping that I'll recover a little bit shortly, and the second half of this race will be a bit better. I can see Dwight Williams there, just over a minute back on me. Good riding, buddy. And G Big Matt, that's a new name to me in the A's. Here come the A's. Now what would have been good is if I had anything in my legs to grab hold of them and go with them. Keith and Catherine Denton both locked together in the B's at 1 minute 29. Slugging it out next to each other in their pain cave, I think. Kiss that big thing for the ride on. I wish I was slugging it out with you again up the front there of the seas, but nah, absolutely killed myself in this one, really stupid. I'm going to start, see if I can wind the power back on again a little bit to give myself a chance of latching onto the Bs, which in quick racing certainly isn't the done thing, but it might just give me some kind of sense of achievement if I can just sort of pick up the pace a little bit with those guys. They're just 23, 24 seconds behind me. I mean, they're doing serious power, so I'll be amazed if I can stay with them for a second, but I'll give myself a nice long recovery time now. We're halfway through the race, just over. Hey, Keith Denton, thanks for the ride on, just as you're about to absolutely destroy me. Here we go. I'm swallowed up by the bees. I can see N. Nielsen, Mr. and Mrs. Denton, Big Matt, who am I missing? R. Borup, all in this group. Alright, let's fire out some ride-ons.
Music is the universal language. You can express yourself to anyone. The nice lead, make their beats move with a kick gas beat. This is how you'll do it.
Okay. 5 laps done, 3 to go. I'm trying to hold a more respectable power output now. I managed to pull S Monk back in, but I think I'm a long way from anyone else. Good job, S Monk, right on, man. I'm still looking at the sprints. I think I'm still in third for the sea sprint. But like I say, I think the big pushes are going to come in the last time over the line. This has been utter rubbish. Sorry, I nearly swore badly then. But this is by far my worst league performance on the back of my best one, I think. How you guys are holding this sort of power relentlessly on these flat courses, I do not know. It looks like Cobus Hatting has managed to just take the green jersey there. So that's an awesome effort. I can't see the time, but I can see he's in green. And Colleen was in green for the women's jersey, which would also mean green in the C category. Okay, I can see the sprint times now. 10:57 for Cobus. That's crazy. Great sprint. And I think I'm still in the third for the C's. I managed to do a better lap that time as well, so that was nice to put a slightly more representative lap time down for the category I'm in. Now I'm seeing the first of these M riders, the M04, 42 seconds ahead of me. Let's have a quick look. Well, there are no, it's showing us real power, 2 watts per kilogram, but only having done 6.6 kilometers, so I'm not quite sure what the situation is there. I can see D Crook is going to be lapping me very soon, as is one Ahmed Al Tenaji, and then Cobus, Peter Wilson, Brian Roden and Colleen, and I think Padron there at the bottom will all follow through very, very shortly, I'd imagine. Okay, there's Mr. Henderson. I've managed to pull back in and lap, I believe. But right on, buddy. Good job. This has been a tough race for us all, I think. And I can see the leader of the C's, D Crook, just 2 seconds behind now at 4.5 watts per kilogram. So he will be flying past me right about now. There we go. Good job, man. I'd like to grab your wheel, but no, that's not happening. Next to come past me will be Cobus Hatting, the green jersey wearer. And he's 3.5 watts per kilogram, just 1 second off the back of me. And there he goes. Right on, Cobus, great job. Let's see if my draft will work. No, that's never going to happen. Hi, Captain from Cobus there. Thank you, my friend. Oh, right on. I thought I'd already given you one, but there we go. Okay, this is then coming up to finish. They got me just before the start of my final lap. And I can see Ahmed Al Tanaji going for the sprint. I don't think it's going to be enough to take Cobes this time. Yeah, one more. I know, Cobus. I know you finished. Alright, so Cobus, green jersey, unless anything happens in this last sprint for most of these guys. I've got a really horrible feeling that Dan wasn't showing there, so I wonder if he's had a problem and had to drop out. He was having dropouts at the beginning of the race, if you remember. Or am I just missing it? Oh, I couldn't see. Anyway, I'm on my last lap. Thank goodness. Horrible, horrible race. And now I'll be coming back past all the guys that lapped me. I'd like to think I had something in my legs to chase down Carlos Valadares and M. Bexel at 125 ahead, but nah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Carlos keeps popping up in the 3 watts per kilogram bracket. I think they're working well together. I think my main concern will be keeping Lou Dregley behind me. 4 kilometres to go. It doesn't seem like a lot, but my God, this is a really hard 4 kilometres for me. Whack the old aero down here. Hey, Zoe Collins, Team Type 1, thank you very much for the ride on. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Oh, the end cannot come soon enough for me. Oh. I'd like to flick back and see what's going on behind if I can, but it's not an easy thing to do. Especially as the event has finished for a lot of people, so it's hard to find riders. I really feel like I'm just going to literally hit the wall any second. I've got to just make it to the finish. And at least I can hopefully pick up some sprint points if I can get to the line. Oh, cramping up as well. Oh, I think I'm going to be sick. I don't know what's going to come first. Cramp or vomit. Sorry, this isn't a pleasant sight. Come on, last 2 kilometres. I was hoping to have one more go at the sprint as well at the end, but I've got no energy. Cheers, are you Hanson, for the ride on? I've got no energy, no legs, no Dan to lead me out. Oh, thank you, Brian Roden. Great race. I'm sure it was for you. Horrible race for me, but I'm glad you enjoyed it, buddy. Good job. Alright, just got to stay ahead of Lou Dregley. He's pulled back to 20 seconds. Still holding solid power. I really don't want to have to fight on the line. Oh, 14 seconds. No, this is horrible. Come on. Oh, why does that distance marker not seem to be ticking down? Seem to have been at, oh there we go, 1.6. I seem to have been at 1.7 kilometres for ages. Oh, if I try and push, if Lou Dregley pushes me, I'm glad you don't know this at this point in time, but if Mr. Dregley decided to push me now, I would cramp up big time. So, just don't. Oh, here he goes. 3.8, 4 watts per kilogram. No, come on, man. I've got no response for that. I can feel cramp even when I push up to nearly 3. All right, last kilometre. Thank God. I need this one to be over. Horrible, horrible race. Oh, here he goes again. 3.5. All right, luckily he doesn't manage to hold it for very long. And I'm coming up to the red carpet of the mouth. Alright, the question is, have I managed to hold on to that third in the sprint? Where am I? I can't tell because so many have finished the race. It looks like no. Alright, well, we're 27 seconds over Lou, so I don't think I'm going to have to bust a gut, luckily, to get over the line. I'm not sure about the sprint times yet. I did a 12 something, I'm sure. Oh. I did not enjoy that. I hope you lot did. But I definitely didn't. That was crap. I can't even do a warm down. And I don't think I got any sprint points in the end. That was just rubbish. Anyway, well done to L Wild for winning, J Adams and H Scott for first, second and third. Good job, guys. Now it looks like Mr. Keith D, I'm going to have to check with G Big Matt whether he's part of the league, but I don't think he is. So it looks like Mr. Keith D managed to take the win in the Bs. followed by N. Nielsen and Mrs. D. So well done. Let's have a look for the C's. It's really hard to tell, but I think, is it going to be Peter? Possibly Peter Wilson from Colleen. And it would be Padrone, but he's team type 1. Again, I'd love to include you, Padrone, but no can do. So, Arya Hansen. Oh, I don't know, I'm going to have to check all these. This is where I could really do with Zwift power. So, scrolling further down. Look at that, my average power, 2.5. That's crap. Really bad. 23rd out of 57 riders. Now, I can't see Dan in there, so I can only assume that Dan had a technical problem and had to drop out. Dwight coming over the line there. Well done, buddy. Right, I'm going to hold it here, wait for everyone to finish. Then I'm going to hope that I can get the sprint times. Yeah, look, see, it wasn't showing me at 12.14. That was my best sprint time today. It was ignoring that one on the sprint sheet and giving me my second best time of 14.45. And I don't know why that is, but based on a 12 point something, I think I would have been in the top 3. But yeah, look, it's giving me 14.54. Oh, don't get that. I don't want to have to go by Strava because that doesn't give you, that seems to round it off to full whole numbers. Right, I'm going to wrap it up here before I'm sick, and then I'll stay on and try and get the full results as everybody comes in and try and sort out the sprint times. Sorry I'm not my usual chipper self, but I'm really disappointed with that. That was just absolute rubbish. Well done for everybody else, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks very much for racing. Again, massive thanks to Keith Denton for the spreadsheet. That will be really, really handy, and I'll get to work on that this evening after I've done the edited the video and whatnot, and tried to sort out the results. Great job, guys. A couple of quick reminders. Firstly, hopefully you'll have all seen by now, I've set up the first regular group ride. It is geared mainly to UK and European time zone at the moment, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to find some volunteer ride leaders to set up for some different time zones for our American, Canadian friends, Australian, New Zealand, so that we can have a schedule that runs through the week of regular, what I call the 2-for-1 rides, which is basically 2 watts per kilogram for 1 hour on whichever course, the flattest route for that particular day. So ours, for the European one, it's 8:35 in the morning every Thursday. I will obviously try and lead that one out every Thursday. I know that clashes with work time for a lot of people, but in order for me to be the ride leader, I had to schedule it that sort of best suited me. So I know that's a bit selfish, but it was the only way I could do it. So if anyone else, like I say, if anyone wants to get in touch with me and volunteer to be a ride leader for any other time, so we can set up some more regular rides. It's 2 reasons for doing this. One is that I wanted to do it anyway, and it's been requested quite a few times by quite a few people. But also, thanks very much to Robert Massimo Baldi for pointing out that it seems to be a requirement of Zwift in order to get your own kit within the game. So if we can get plenty of regular group rides together, it might be that we can twist their arm into actually getting the WKG kit so we can use it online, which would be fantastic. But it should be good fun anyway. I hope you can all join for that one, and like I say, if not that one, hopefully we'll get other ones scheduled very soon. There is no league race now for a couple of weeks for a couple of reasons. One, we've done 5 races. I think we'll have a sort of third of the season break for a week. If today's performance by me was anything to go by, I think a break is well needed. But sadly, I won't be getting a break, which leads me on to the second reason. That next Sunday I've got my first 100-mile sportif, or 105 miles, I think it is, a charity sportif for Action Medical Research. So I certainly won't be in any fit state to lead out or arrange a league race for that for next weekend. So maybe we can schedule some more gentle rides between now and then. But the next one, you know what? It's completely slipped my mind what the next one is, but it's in about 2 weeks' time. But I'll update you all in the forum. Some interesting progress on the kits for anybody that's ordered their WKG kits. Endura have sent me a link so I can see the process from printing to heat pressing to sewing to quality control and shipping. And they seem to be well ahead of schedule, and they're in the sewing process now. So I'm going to request, obviously, that they get them out to me as soon as they can, which, you know, like I say, it looks like they could be ahead of schedule for the bulk delivery. But I'd also like to get basically a sample one through finished kit as soon as I possibly can, so I can double check it all before the deliveries go out, and so I can basically gloat to all of you guys and girls when I wear my kit before everybody else. So that's really all it is, just me being selfish and wanting to be the first to get one in my hands. Actually, it'd be brilliant if I could get one before next weekend's Sportive and do a little bit of WKG exposure to the 1,000 odd riders that are doing this race. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. I'll do another little update video actually on that one. T-shirts as well, very close to getting those done. As I mentioned earlier, it's a matter of me being happy with them before I open up what will be a very basic online shop, so that you can order quantities and type of T-shirt. There'll be some technical T-shirts and some regular T-shirts. Men's, women's, obviously, various sizes. And there's actually a couple of alternative designs that might be coming up as well. So I'll, again, keep you posted on that. I think that's just about it. Apologies, like I say, for my slightly flat demeanour. Thank you, Carlos. I can't quite see what that message is. He's private messaged me behind there. I could see your name and something on there, which I will check back on the video, but thanks, buddy. Thanks, everyone, for the ride-ons. I'm going to wrap it up now. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or whatever day it is, wherever you are. Massive kudos to anybody from different time zones that managed to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning for this race. That's a particularly big achievement in itself, so well done to you. And I'm going to shut up and catch you on the next one. Ciao.